Welcome to LinkedIn 101. In this video, we're going to be talking about what is networking, what is LinkedIn, and then go through the key elements of a successful profile. Starting off with what is networking. Networking is basically talking with people who will learn about you and your interests and help you to gain insights into your career options and different goals. It's important to note that networking is a two-way process where you're developing and maintaining connections with people that are mutually benefiting for the relationship. So this means that it's not just you benefiting from them, but they can also gain something from you as well. This is also something that you're not only doing when you're looking for a job. Networking is a really key process to engage yourself in at any point in your career and professional journey, whether you're just starting off college, you're just graduated, or you're already a seasoned professional in the field. Networking is also a very effective method of advancing your career. So while networking may not necessarily get you a job, it does play a huge role in a lot of hiring decisions. A lot of times nowadays, job vacancies are not even advertised, but instead filled through some form of personal or professional referrals. So it's really important to get your name out there and make those connections with people anywhere in the industry that you have interest in, and even across industry, because you never know what companies are hiring or expanding what positions they offer. Next, a really important thing to think about is who counts as part of your network. So networking opportunities can occur on a daily basis and includes just brief conversations with someone on an elevator or even arrange meetings with a professional that you have interest in their career. So it's important to identify people who you can come in contact with through different activities, involvements, professional opportunities, etc. These can include anyone from friends, classmates, their parents and family members, neighbors that you have, your own family members, current or former employers and coworkers, any members of alumni, professional associations, clubs, or organizations you may be a part of or looking to join, coaches that you have, staff, faculty, or academic advisors here at the university, or alumni of any schools that you've attended. Even if you don't necessarily personally know these people to start, you can form these connections through finding commonalities and similarities across interests, professional goals, and anything else. Transitioning now to what is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the world's largest networking community. So as of April 2024, there were 990 million members on LinkedIn, which obviously is a huge amount and a great opportunity to get connections across all different professional areas. LinkedIn is a wonderful platform to help you find jobs, register for events, and learn skills. You can also use LinkedIn to write social media posts or have business-related discussions. So sharing any updates that you have about your career or goals, learning more from other people who are posting. A lot of quote unquote LinkedIn influencers post things that are relevant to the field to help learn more. You can also hear from companies directly to gain industry insights. So a lot of companies will have pages that they have maintained to be able to share what is going on in their business, and you can learn from their postings. And it's important to not only just connect with people on LinkedIn, but also follow these companies or hashtags that you may have interest in. Another important question that you may have is, who should use LinkedIn? LinkedIn is for any aspiring professional or professional worker in the field. So a common misconception is that LinkedIn is just for business people, but in reality, any and all majors should make an account. So anywhere from education to anything in the medical field to even especially business as well. Now we're going to move into key elements of a LinkedIn account. And as you can see here, we have Victoria Blue Jays LinkedIn profile that we're going to be using as reference here. And this is just going to be our example to point out some key attributes to a successful profile. We're going to start with the headshot or the profile photo of this. According to LinkedIn, profiles with photos receive 21 times more views and 9 times more connection requests. So this is really important to get your name out there and make those connections and network successfully. A couple of tips for a successful and professional photo is using a plain background with no distractions in view. So if you can have the photo by yourself and not it being a group photo that you're just cropped out of, that is definitely preferred. If it's something that's taken outside, natural lighting works best. However, there's a lot of different opportunities to get professional headshots done, whether it be through events here at the Weekend Career Center for Professional Excellence, or just at different networking or professional association opportunities as well. Or you can even do this just by using your phone or having a friend take a photo for you too. Just keep it as plain as possible, a light background, and make sure you're wearing professional clothing if possible, and have it be centered and focused on yourself. Next, I want to highlight the background photo or the header. This is, you want to think of as an accent to your personality or something that's related to your interests. So Victoria's here is of the Elmhurst University Gates of Knowledge because she is a big Elmhurst fan and a current student and worker here at Elmhurst. But other examples could be symbols related to your favorite city. So maybe you could think of the Chicago skyline. It could be the options of LinkedIn stock photos related to your major or something that you have interest in. If you work for a company, oftentimes they'll also provide branding that you can use or their own background photo, or you can create and upload your own dependent on your personality and what you're interested in. Next thing to highlight is the headline or the tagline. And this is really dependent on who you are, where you are in your career, and just what your goals are for your LinkedIn profile. So this can be something that's general or straightforward, but you ultimately want it to tell viewers what makes you unique and using as many keywords as possible. You have 220 characters to do this, but you don't have to feel like you have to use the entire space. So for example, here with Victoria has that she is a marketing student at Elmhurst University, a campus leader, and then an aspiring brand strategist. So as she is a current student, she's highlighting what her major is, some of her involvement on campus, just general being a campus leader, but then also highlighting where she is progressing towards and what some of those career goals are. If you are someone that's already out in the field, you may want to just put maybe your title of what your current position is, or you could do your current position as well as something of like aspiring or something that just really relates to you and your career or your personality. The next section to highlight that is super important is the About section. And once again, just like the tagline, this will really have to be personalized based on where you are in your career and what you are looking for in your LinkedIn profile. You want to be as concise as possible about your experience, qualifications, and goals, and ultimately want to try to essentially weave together a narrative about your professional experience. So you can describe what motivates you, highlight what you've done or are skilled at. You also want to make sure you're using keywords or phrases that recruiters are searching for with wherever you are in your career. So that can be things such as product management, graphic design, or data analysis. For example, in Victoria's here, she says that she is a marketing and communications student at Elmhurst University with experience in brand marketing, customer service, and campus leadership. She highlights different things of social media campaigns, boosting engagement, organizing programs, combining creativity with strategy to make meaningful impact. And then below that, in that second paragraph, she highlights some of the things that she is a leader in and positions she's served in. And then another important thing is this last sentence here talks about where she's really looking for or what she is looking for with this. So talking about the skills and where she wants to apply things to future opportunities in, for example, marketing and brand development. So as you can see, this really weaves together the story and the narrative of who she is, where she currently is, and where she wants to go. So you want to think of this almost as an expanded version of your professional summary on your resume, where you're highlighting those top skills and experiences, but then also bringing out some of the things that you're looking to search for. So that way, if a recruiter is looking at your profile, they can see exactly where you are at and what you're wanting to go to. Okay, so now moving to the experience section. Your work experience should match the experience that is on your resume, but you want to include all work and professional experiences that you've had. So you may have heard that your resume should really just highlight the experiences that you are wanting to highlight as relevant to the experience or the position that you're applying for, whereas your LinkedIn can include all of your experiences and really expand on those as well, since you don't have to worry about time or space constraints here. So with this, you want to follow the same format that you would for a resume of listing 4 to 5 bullet points that describe your accomplishments and most important roles and responsibilities in these positions. Just as a resume, you also want to use numbers and data to really highlight those quantitative measures that you have associated with your position. So bringing it back to Victoria's here, as you can see, she has 2 experiences highlighted, The first is being a resident assistant here. She has 3 bullet points that highlight her top skills and experiences with this position. She talks about supervising and supporting residents, planning and implementing programs, and also providing mentorship, conflict resolution, and some of those other keyword skills to just bring out her experiences. As you can see, she has the position listed under the university as the company, the date range on it, the location, and also that this is an on-site position. And then another thing to highlight here is that she has connected this experience with different skills as well. So this is a great way to bring back out those skills and highlight different things that really stand out about your experience. As you can see, there's also different numbers that she has incorporated, including 45 residents and reaching 200 students. Those stand out here to show that she knows not only what she did, but also what impact she made, which really highlights that transferableness and the importance to employers and recruiters. She also did the exact same thing for her front desk student worker position at the WCCPE. So you can look through that experience and see another great example of how you might want to highlight and talk about your experiences, as well as connect it to different skills. Next is the education section. In this section, you want to start with your most recent degree, but absolutely include any degrees you have earned or are progressing towards. So that can include associates, your bachelor's, your master's, or if you've gone on to do any further education, or if you're currently progressing towards any of that. Important things that you want to include here are if you're a current student, that is your graduation date, as well as any majors, minors, concentrations, or anything that might be applicable to that. If your GPA is above a 3.5 or at a 3.5, you can include that too. However, employers aren't really looking for it as much, so that's not something that you necessarily need to include if you are not wanting to or are not looking to do so. You can also include here different key achievements that you have, building out your activities in lists as well. However, there are different sections that you can really explain all of this information, so you can keep it a little bit general here. But most importantly, bringing it to Victoria's here, you can see the university, the degree type she has, the date ranges that she's there for, the GPA since she's a current student, and then some activities and societies, as well as her concentration in minor. Another section that can be included is an honors and awards section. So in order to make the most of your profile, you can look at all the different recommended and suggested sections to add, but one thing to highlight, especially as a student, would be any honors or awards. This can be anything from Dean's List to anything of outstanding student or any awards that you may have received through leadership, anything like that. Looking here at Victoria, she highlights that Dean's List award issued in May 2025 and associated here with being a student at Elmhurst University. But you can definitely personalize this to anything that you may have exposure or experience with or have received over the course of your professional development journey. Additional sections that you may want to include would be projects. So anything you've done in your classes that you can highlight those transferable skills, any license or certifications that you have, and then there's also a variety of other recommendations that LinkedIn provides. This can include things such as volunteering, which can be really important to highlight and showcase to employers, or just in general interests, newsletters, schools, anything that you may have interest in and want to showcase on your profile to really complete that story of who you are. Some final thoughts for your profile that I want to highlight is to treat your jobs, education, skills, and accolades like you would on a resume. I mentioned this already, but you really want to have some continuity between your profile and your resume as well, so that if a recruiter is looking at it, they can see some similarities between those. However, make sure your LinkedIn is as built out as possible to really showcase the true depths of who you are as a professional. Using strong action words as well is really critical to highlight the transferable skills that you have. So don't just list out your job duties or responsibilities, use those action verbs to showcase how those skills progress and can be used across positions. And also remember that numbers do stick out on a screen just as they do a document to show how your experiences make an impact in the organizations you're working with. Another important thing about LinkedIn is that you can personalize the main feed to have the experience that you want to have. So you can follow companies that you may want news from, you can send connection requests to people that you think their content is interesting, and you can use the people you may know section to make those connections as well. Another cool thing about LinkedIn is that you can endorse skills of other connection and have connections endorse your own skills as well. So on your profile, you can do that. So that way you can show that these are reputable skills that you have and also highlight some of those top connections you may have with people. You can also join professional groups or follow top voices, and then also post, comment, react, and share as well, just as you would other social media, but keeping it in this professional light. Your post can range from anything of different, if you're a current student, different projects you're working on, if you have any honors or awards that you've received, if you want to highlight those, any important job or career updates, anything that you maybe have insight in, maybe you wrote a blog that you want to highlight, or just something that might be relevant to your professional or career related development that you want to showcase. Make sure you're supporting your other connections as well to maintain those networking relationships by commenting and reacting to their posts as well. And then some last LinkedIn tips is just that the more you use it, the more curated it'll be to you and your interests. So this takes a little bit of time, but as you get used to it, you'll be able to really create the profile and experience that you're looking for. You should also take advantage of the Jobs tab and spend time searching, saving, and Xing out opportunities to really ultimately give you the best recommendations of what you're looking for. You can also set up reminders or different notifications for job postings in your area or location that you may have interest in. There's also an app for LinkedIn. So if you want to add that to your social media rotation on your phone, definitely download that app so that way you can see and access things and be able to post easier as well. Additionally, there is a QR code for networking, and this is one of my personal favorite tips. So if you go on the app and you go into the search bar, you can click the QR code on the corner of it, and you can show your QR code or scan other people's for quick networking. So that way you can immediately get connected to their profile or they can immediately connect with you. I hope all the information shared in this video was useful to you. Just as a reminder, there are always resources and staff here for your support at the Wiegand Career Center for Professional Excellence. So if you have any questions, you can contact us. You can schedule appointments with us, whether you're a current student or an alumni, or you can stop by the lower level of the library if you want to connect with us in person to ask those questions or get any recommendations or advice. We have appointments available to review LinkedIn profiles or help you set up your own as well if that is something that interests you or something that would be helpful for you. So feel free to reach out and let us know what you need so we can best support you.